Today we are going to talk about properties of equations, section 2.5. First is your community property of addition. All that means is that whatever way you add on the left side with two numbers, you can add on the right. So if it's a plus b equals, you can go b plus a on the other side. Same thing with multiplication. You can multiply them either way you want, two numbers, so a b equals ba. Associative property of addition, if a plus b and then plus c, you can repair it. You can add b and c first and then add a. Same thing with multiplication. If you have a times b and then times c, you can go a and then you can times b and c first. Identity means that if whatever I add to a number, if I add 0 to that number, it will equal itself. So if I add 0 to that number, it equals itself. With multiplication, anytime you multiply 1 by a number, it equals itself. Inverse property says if you add the inverse of a number to itself, then it will equal 0. The multiplicative inverse says if you multiply anything by 1 over itself, then it will equal 1. Distributive property right here says that I multiply this by this, and therefore AB plus AC. Same thing here. If you put the A in the back, as long as you distribute it, it'll be BA plus CA. You also have your reflexive property, which means A equals A. Whatever you have, X equals X, Y equals Y. Whatever's on the left side can be on the right side. Symmetric property says that if A equals B, then B equals A. We do that all the time. Say we have X equals 40, 40 equals X. Transitive property just says that if A equals B and B equals C, then A can equal C. There's the link right there. Okay? If they have these alike, then they can equal each other. And then your substituted property we're not going to have. Okay, we have a proof here. A plus B plus negative A equals B. Justify each step. First, a proof works like this. We move whatever on the left over. All we're trying to do is get everything canceled so that it equals B. Okay, in this case, they repaired up our adding, so therefore that is a associative property of addition. Okay, we take that over. Okay, now we have A plus negative A, and they say it equals 0, therefore that is additive inverse. Add inverse. Then we move down that B equals B, or B plus 0 equals B. And that is add identity. This is where we're justifying. Put that up there. Therefore, if this equals B and this equals that, then they all equal each other, therefore that is transitive. Okay, now I'm going to go through and do these. Okay, we switch the addition up on the left side on this one, so therefore that is commutative property of addition. Okay, we switched up how we added these right here, so that is again commutative property of addition. I'm just going to use my ditto. 6 times 1, I'm not going to use ditto. Give me a second. Commutative property of addition. 6 times 1 is our identity property of multiplication. Identity of mult. Okay, they're adding these and they equal 0. That means that is the inverse add. Okay? They moved the multiplication of 7, they moved 7 to the back, so that is just commutative property of multiplication. Again, same thing, they changed up the multiplication, therefore commutative property of multiplication. Again, they changed up just here. They don't change up the addition, just the multiplication of the 3x. So therefore, again, commutative property of multiplication. They're adding 0 and it equals itself. That is your identity of addition. Okay, they're distributing here. They distribute the x through, and you end up with 6x plus 9x. Anything multiplied by 0 equals 0, that is your multiple property of 0, which is one that you don't have. 11, okay, you're adding negative 3x to 3x, so that is inverse, because that is inverse add. Here you're moving your parenthesis, but it's everything's addition, everything's multiplication, so that is associative of multiplication. Okay, this should be a positive one there, which would make that negative, and you end up with your your multiplicative identity. Identity. And then the last one here, this multiplied by that is 3x squared plus 12x, so that is distributive.